Cheers.
June Test Series. Well, it's July, but
July.
you know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean. It's early July.
Inbound tours.
Inbound tours. Should be a glorious weekend.
The mighty Irish are here. They're here.
Yeah.
On the corner here.
Yeah. There's been some things flying around.
A little bit of banter.
Rusty's saying the only difference in the Sexton era will be that the ref has a bit of an easier time. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I think it's all in good spirits.
Yeah.
And I think the Irish are also taking it in good spirits, and they're handing it out as well, the Irish media and that sort of thing.
It's a bit banter and things like that.
And also it's kind of like a sign of our respect.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah, I think it's a fairly friendly relationship between the teams.
Yeah, if we were playing some random other team that we don't really respect, this wouldn't happen. We're trying to create a bit of atmosphere. And I think it's positive. I think it's good.
Yeah, no, I think it's on good spirits. They have got a lot of respect for Rassie, him being coaching at Munster and all that. So I don't think that it's nasty. It's not like Eddie Jones nasty and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's all good. Very exciting, amazing weekend of rugby, all in all.
I'm going to the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be going to the game. There were plans, but the tickets sold out so fast that it didn't happen.
I saw there's some Irish fans coming over. In the comments on the other channels and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's great. I hope, and the weather's not bad. It's just kind of. It was a bit like windy and stuff today.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be pretty cold on Saturday.
Yeah, I saw.
Well, not cold by Irish standards. I don't think it's gonna.
No, it's just chilly.
It'll be like
it's like a summer's, degrees. Like a nice summer's day in Ireland.
Yeah.
But
anyway, that's the stuff around the game. But like.
Then we were waiting for the Irish team. But
when are they? Do you think they're playing a game there? They're trying to.
Yeah, there's lots of speculation going around about the scrum off, the Munster scrum off, or there's an Osborne that I don't know that much about. And then the few youngsters, they highly rate Sam Prendergast, that he might be on the bench and that sort of thing, and a few new guys, and Ian Henderson is out, which is probably not a starting lock.
No.
They'll probably start with McCarthy and with the Leinster dudes. I don't know how they're going to do, what they're going to do with Tygburn, whether he will start at lock.
James
Ryan. So I don't know if he would have started in any case. So we've got a few youngsters coming through, but we don't know exactly. It will be their best possible team with most of the Leinster guys, I assume.
Yeah.
And then they've got the few injuries. Gibson Park must be injured.
That's a pretty big loss, but I mean.
Yeah.
When you have they got a strong pack, so
yes.
Whoever plays behind them is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and they've got depth. Jack Conan is injured, which he probably wouldn't have been a starter either, I don't think. Possibly. He doesn't start for Leinster.
Yeah, no, it's going to be Doris.
It will be Doris and and Van der Fleer, and who's the other, the old dude, Peter Omani. Yeah, other than that, I don't think there will be too many surprises.
Yeah.
And then the Springboks squad was released quite early.
Yeah. What was it, a Monday, I think? And
also not a lot of surprises. Maybe a few on the bench with Steenekamp getting a run, which I think is very good.
Yeah, do you think he's a
new guy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's been sort of in the mix, but maybe it's also a little bit because we're playing at Loftus.
Yeah, it could be because it's
some
his
of the
home
Bulls
ground.
guys.
Yeah, and bringing a few of the young guys through. Obviously, the big talk is around Ngomezulu Feinberg. Yeah, kicked a 50-odd meter penalty.
Yeah,
without even taking a lot of time or making a big fuss about it.
It was the smoothness of the kick as well. Like, he looked so comfortable.
He looks like mentally he's already ready for the biggest stage.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you need. Where Jordan Hendricks has struggled a little bit against Wales. Yeah. And then I don't think Willie actually, if Willemse was available, I don't think Willie would have started. So, but he's had such a great season for the Bulls.
Yeah.
That we spoke about his impact, what his impact would have been in the final of the URC. What do you think?
Yeah, so absolutely. I think that losing Billy actually cost us that final. Obviously, the Glasgow fans will disagree, but like it's his touches on the ball. I feel like the problem we had in the final, especially in the second half, was we had nothing on attack.
No. There were no line breaks, and
it was just like one pass, crash ball, one pass, crash ball.
Yeah.
Where I think Willie sort of sees space and he's got a bit of vision there.
Yeah.
And I think that he's now played at Loftus now for a year. I think.
Yeah. So it's also it's also a home game. Yeah.
So he knows what the conditions are like.
Yeah.
He knows how I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but but I think they get comfortable at a ground.
Yeah, no, definitely.
They figure out what they can and can't do. That sort of thing.
Even a guy like Pollard knows Loftus really well. That's where he played a lot of his provincial rugby, and crucial that he's fit.
Yeah.
Otherwise a guy like Ngomezulu would have started, or I don't know if they would have started with Mani Libok. I don't know if Mani Libok is out of the mix now, or I'm not even sure if he's injured. I'm not really sure. He's completely out of the picture. Yeah,
it's just he just persists with this kicking issue.
Maybe I think it's the goal kicking issue.
It's a problem,
and that's why they were cheering so much in the Wales game when Ngomezulu made that kick.
Yeah,
because they obviously saw him during practice and saw what he can do. Sorry, I've got the sun in my eyes, but
Quagga at 8.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah,
I think he's like our best player, basically.
Yeah, I just think he gives you so much more than anybody else. Like even shifting Marco van Staden to 8, or playing a younger guy like Evan Roos or Ulrich Low. Quagga's done everything. He's been involved in 2 World Cups. He's extremely versatile. It's just from a South African standpoint, it's a bit strange because of his size.
Yeah.
Because he barely breaks 100 kilograms. Normally, a guy like Dwayne and these guys, they're all big units into the 110 plus kilogram. But I think with the flankers we have, with a Pieter Stef de Toy, weight-wise, it doesn't really give you anything less. And then obviously, he's not really a line-out option, but stealing the ball on the ground and carrying the ball, he gives you so much.
He's got speed. One thing I will say against him is there have been games where he sort of disappears against what was previously a more physical team like the All Blacks. I'm not saying that the All Blacks are not physical now, they are. But there was a time when they were really super physical, and I felt like he kind of disappeared, and I hope that doesn't happen against a team like the Irish, who are very hardcore. They
are extremely hardcore. Let's talk about the Irish a little bit, about the game plan, the behind the back passes and stuff, which was slightly ineffective against.
It seems like teams are starting to read it.
Yeah.
For instance, not just like Leinster, like Munster, for instance. Yeah. It looked like Glasgow just read it all day, in the semi.
So really protecting that space, that close space, with the dummy runner and then the pass next to it. But obviously the plan is then to if you don't punch a hole there, then you go for the cross kick. To find space on the outside. So they would have re-examined that, and we're talking more about Leinster play, but we know that Leinster and the Islands play is basically moulded on the same thing.
Yeah.
But not in any way to say that we think it will be an easy game.
No. Well, I think if the Springboks were playing Leinster, I would still be concerned.
Yeah. Yes, so exactly. Yeah.
But what does worry me is we have a brand new defence coach.
Yeah.
So, like Ireland are very astute on attack.
Yeah.
And now we have this new defence coach.
Yes.
How's that going to work out? Hopefully.
Well, a completely new coaching team, really.
Yeah.
Except for the forwards coach, for the scrum coach.
But if you cast your mind back to 2018, when Jacques Nienaber and Rassie first came in.
Yeah.
That first game against England. First 2 games, England scored easy tries.
Yeah.
It takes a little while for a team to learn the defensive structure and that sort of thing.
I think they will carry on with the Nienaber, but philosophy,
structure or whatever.
Yes, about how to defend. I don't think they'll change that completely. I think the guys who come in will have a little bit of their own input, but it will be more or less the same. I would imagine you won't just completely toss the apple cart.
But still, like I said, Ireland, it's business as usual from it's continuity from last year, and hopefully we're not going to there's not like a structure that we need to learn and implement and get comfortable with and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and the common illness in South African rugby is being a little bit overconfident and just arriving, and it takes a while to get into the game.
Yeah.
But this group of players, they've done everything, so I don't think that will be a problem. But I still consider the possibility that Ireland might win the game.
Absolutely. Thinking back to 2022, when Wales was here for the first test. I was at Loftus for the first test. And we needed a kick to break the deadlock in the 80th minute.
Yes.
We weren't good. So
no, and the guys coming from all over the world to a Springbok camp takes a while to gel.
And Ireland isn't Wales.
No.
Ireland
Current Wales
team. Not even current.
How many have they lost in a row now, Wales? I don't know how many, but it's a lot.
I don't know, but they
6 or 7 or something. So we can't really take anything out of that. Although, we started slow against Wales as well, and we finished well, which is a good thing going into the next game. But a lot of those guys didn't play in this game.
Anything else about the Irish? Like we were mentioning Sexton just now, it's going to be interesting to see a Sextonless. Obviously, we saw it in the Six Nations. Crowley.
I think he's brilliant.
He's excellent,
and I think he slotted in so easily. I think it's the same thing. You and I mentioned it earlier that it's a slightly old team, and the young blood coming through. You would have wanted a few guys that are on the bench that have played 10, 15 tests. And I think with Ireland, they might be slightly more settled than us, but it's also a fairly old team. A lot of 30 odd players. They've got Nash who came through, who's really, really good.
But they've got lots of young guys as well, as in not young, but
Crowley's fairly young.
If you think Crowley, you think Doris, you think Sheehan.
They're not old
young
dudes. They're not in their mid-30s.
They're in their prime. They're here to smash people,
That's one of my only worries, is that our team is quite old. So we're still holding on to that World Cup experience. It wasn't every now and then in teams you see a little bit of an overhaul when after a World Cup. But we didn't do that
at all. It's continuity.
It's just the same thing. I'm still a little bit in the back of my mind worried about the two small wingers, but they've proved me wrong so many times that I probably shouldn't be worried about Kirtley and Cheslin.
I was thinking Cheslin is very marked. And I kind of miss Canan Moody. He's just young.
It seems like a better
tall,
balance.
He's big. He's fast.
But they're brilliant players.
They've won. Well, Cheslin's won 2 World Cups.
It will be, the players know each other so well from the URC and from playing quite a few tests in the past few years. So I just think it's going to be a fairly low-scoring proper test match.
Who's going to play left wing for the Irish?
Is James Lowe available? Because then he's
Who's going to play right wing?
Then that Nash, the new guy.
The Nash guy.
So it will be settled. I'm not sure. We don't have the team in front of us, so we don't know. It will be Ringrose, it will be all the normal guys, Bandi Aki or McCloskey. We're not 100% sure who will be picked. He said, he sort of mentioned that there might be a few surprises. Also deciding maybe one of the slightly younger guys that are coming through is looking better, or looked better in the URC.
But the squad that they brought, they're here to win,
They've brought 3 or 4 new guys. The rest of them have been there before. So I suspect if even on a dry field, perfect conditions, there will be no rain or anything.
No.
It will be absolutely perfect conditions. I still predict a fairly low-scoring game, a proper test match. I hope I'm wrong. It would be nice to see a few like a 28-24 to the Springboks, something like that. But
I'd like a bigger score. I'd like to, just so that, because it's going to be too stressful.
Yes, a bigger margin.
Yeah, I'm there
like
with my family.
More than an 8-point margin.
My kiddie already cried in the final of the URC.
Yeah, we don't want kids to cry.
And the Proteas lost, and he cried then as well, poor guy.
Yes.
And now if he has to sit through this.
Don't even mention the Proteas. No, we don't want him to. So let's just win by a nice 8-point clear margin. I'll obviously say Springbok victory. Not because of altitude or anything, just because of packed Loftus. Well, maybe a little bit because of altitude. If we can hold on to the ball for long enough, if we don't force them to tackle enough, altitude isn't a factor. It wasn't a big enough factor against Glasgow because we didn't have enough. The Bulls didn't have enough of the ball. You need to force 150 tackles on the opposition for the altitude to be in factor. But most of them play in the URC, so they've played at altitude enough now.
Yeah,
it's like the Sharks. I mean, the Sharks don't care about altitude; they're here all the time, you know. So I think that's what Glasgow also said, that it's not a factor anymore. It should be though.
It should be. I want it to be.
We want it to be badly. Yeah, a nice sunny, slightly warm winter's day with a little bit of burning lungs. It's always nice.
Nice and dry. Like when it's cool like that, when it's cold like this, the air gets especially like burny on your throat.
Yes,
it does. On your lungs.
It does. Yeah. So. What do you say? Score?
I say I'm going to go big.
Is it?
I'm going to say 30-22 to the Springboks.
I'm going to go slightly lower score. I was thinking more like a 25-17, something like that. Also 8-point margin.
I think, but I don't think it's going to be high try scoring.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be penalties.
Yeah, with good goal kickers on both sides.
Maybe a try or two. But
absolutely can't wait. And for the whole weekend, we're not going to talk too much about New Zealand, England, and that sort of thing.
Well, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting. Razor. Scott Robinson.
Yeah, first
test.
Provincial rugby is not test rugby. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, careful though. We'll see.
I think an All Blacks win fairly comfortably.
No, very, very comfortably. But it's going to be interesting to see the style of play that he brings. Yeah. And then is it Wales, Australia?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care.
Yes, Wales, Australia. Yeah. Two teams not in the best space.
Yeah.
Joe Schmidt, I think.
Joe Schmidt?
I think Australia
is coaching Australia now.
Australia for me.
Are they safe? Yeah, I think they will.
They got a lot of.
They win at home. They do win at home.
They're handing out a lot of new caps, but I just think he's clever. He's not that Gatland is, but Gatland he doesn't have the players at the moment. I don't think Wales.
Yeah.
And the other ones, France. Can't remember who they're playing.
France playing.
Yeah.
Argentina or something.
Yeah, I think it's Argentina.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure. No, it's a big weekend, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure. We're focusing on the Springboks.
Yeah.
Go Bokke.
Go Bokke.
Cheers.